Hello Tube Dwellers and welcome. I'm the Arcadean and this is Mabinogi Duel. Today's deck features one of the cards from the new CGC release, Master Templar Materio. A very expensive card, but a very interesting one as well, with a powerful effect in that he can both summon a creature and deals guaranteed AoE damage. So, let's jump into the deck and take a look. It is a gold mana light deck. So we start out with Paralyzing Bullets, an excellent one-cost removal and utility spell, given that it has a secondary paralysis effect. Very good for countering Kadir's Flying Sword, which is becoming much bigger in the meta every week. Kadir's Flying Sword, of course, an excellent one-drop mana card. Next we have Mana Holy Missile to deal with any darkness cards that may crop up, which of course quite popular always, and a Light Elf standard one-cost light creature card. Next up we have the Fiery Zealots or the Goblin Bomb Squad, whichever one you prefer. Two-cost card, very good defensively and has a decent attack value as well at level 3. Next, Golden Garden Cat, a card that absolutely requires an answer as soon as it's played, otherwise your opponent risks letting you gain a massive resource advantage. Bring this out aggressively if you want to place pressure on your opponent to force out a removal spell, or wait until they have not enough resources to counter it immediately and play it so that you get a guaranteed resource boost. Very, very useful card. Next up, Surprise Attack, standard light removal card, always have that in any light deck. And then a Mana Vampire +1, a good mana mid-range creature, and it synergizes very well with Materio. Next up we have another new CGC card, Bullfighter, quite an interesting card as well, this one. It also summons an extra creature just like Materio, and those are always decent effects to have. And the bull itself, if we open it up here, you can see that it will switch sides, or places I should say, with the Bullfighter every turn and deal damage based on how far it moves. Very useful effect if your opponent doesn't remove it immediately, as it's basically a constant eagle effect. Next we have Flame Emission, standard gold area of effect removal, always have at least one area of effect in your deck. And a third card from the new CGC release, Casanova's Mask. Now, ignore the ability description of this, it's not actually correct. Basically what this is it's an untargeted capture spell. So you cast it on a target, on a friendly target, a friendly creature, and whatever creature is in front of the friendly creature will be pulled over to your side of the field for either 2 or 6 turns, depending on whether or not the friendly creature that you used for the original target was Casanova or not. It sounds a little bit complicated, but think of it as kind of a Mukro Algesco, but with a capture effect instead of a freeze one. And finally, Master Templar Materio, the card around which the deck is built. As I said before, very expensive card, 7, 8, and 9. His HP isn't the best in the world, but he is guaranteed to summon a creature, a sword creature, at the beginning of every turn, and you can combine that with the Kadir's Flying Sword effect to ensure that not only does he get his AoE off, but there's also a friendly sword left on the field at the end of that in order to protect him against single target removals. So, that being said, let's jump in and see how the deck goes. Okay, first fight against a Chinese, it looks like first Dan player using the L hero, and you can see that we're using Gabriel with the new skin just because I like it, and she's actually not a bad hero. Her +3 HP thing can actually help out, allow certain creatures to survive certain removal spells that they otherwise wouldn't. So let's see. Hello. Drops the Golden Garden Cat. Okay, very aggressive play. Fortunately, we get enough resources into light that we can remove that immediately with a surprise attack. We do not want to leave a Golden Garden Cat out into the field. They decide to charge out to be quite defensive. We probably want to do the same thing, so let's charge up ourselves. Just try to maintain as much of a resource parity as possible. Travari comes out, very cool. Alright, we could sort of block that, deal with that, but there's not really much point. The 2 attack value isn't crucial, and the fruit that it summons heals the hero, but I haven't done any damage yet. So let's bring out the Bullfighter. That's going to summon the bull in the far left hand side. If both the Bullfighter and the bull survive, that's going to do a significant amount of damage to Travari, and if not, then no big deal. it's unlikely that our opponent will be able to remove both for less than the cost it cost to bring out the Bullfighter. So let's see. Yep, Holy Missile comes out, that's fine. Takes care of the charging bull, no big deal. But our Bullfighter still left on the field. She can try to remove that. Doesn't. Goes for a Ragnar the Blood Edge, which is quite interesting. Now that could cause, you know, the Bullfighter some problems, and you don't really want to leave that on the field if possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the Golden Garden Cat, and I'm going to use the Casanova's Mask, and my battery is running out, so just a second. And we're back. Okay, sorry about that. Phone's charged in, plugged in. Okay, so out comes the Goblin Shredder, deals a little bit of damage to the Golden Garden Cat, and the Command Hunting comes out and deals with the Ragnar. No big deal. The Garden Cat survives, so we get more resources. Toss off a Holy Missile and charge up. That way the Golden Garden Cat can kill that Goblin Shredder. And hopefully survive for yet another round. Let's find out. Opponent levels up. Okay, decides to charge and level up. Travari just keeps on smacking into that Bullfighter. Will level up as well. And good job, Lucio. Oh, thank you. Let's happy, I guess. Happy. This must be what pure bliss feels like, apparently. All right, so that Travari is going to go down to that Bullfighter unless our opponent chooses to remove it. Goes for the revive, doesn't hurt us because we have no creatures in the grave. No big deal. They're falling a little bit behind in resources, so they may decide to play defensively here, try to bait out and overcommit from me. They're thinking about it. Goes for the first charge. Go for the second. Because we're not going to overcommit, so I kind of hope they charge again. They do. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, so that means that we can basically get that boost off the Golden Garden Cat, and we can just charge up. There's no real reason to do anything else because we're about to gain full board control. There we go. Fruit goes down. Travari goes down. We only have 6 damage on the board, to be fair, and out comes Piolet. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why they were charging up. So Piolet removes the Golden Garden Cat, its cost is refunded. Piolet comes out, removes the Bullfighter, its cost is refunded. Yeah, hooray for Piolet. It's fine though, we've been managing our resources very well, so we don't need to worry too much about it. Now, we can't bring out any low-cost creatures, so we'll charge up a couple of times to see where it goes. Both into gold, that's fine. We'll bring out the Fiery Zealot. Because the thing with the Fiery Zealot and the Goblin Bomb Squad is that Piolet cannot use its rebound mechanic. It will kill the Zealot will then kill Piolet before Piolet can rebound into the hand. So if Piolet is one of the primary removals in this deck, and based on our opponent taking some time to think about it now, it looks like it may be, the Fiery Zealot manages to shut that down very effectively. So she can't bring out Piolet without killing it. She can't bring out another creature without effectively suiciding it. She decides to charge. Okay. Might be aiming for a flame emission, hoping that I'll commit a lot of creatures. Charges up again, goes into nature. If Piolet's her primary nature removal, that doesn't help her very much. Now, will she charge again, or will she go aggressive? Let's find out. Brings out Talkaka. Interesting, level 3. Okay, so not a move that you generally want to do, but she obviously wants me to use up some of my resources here. So let's use the Paralyzing Bullet to remove one of those Talkakas. And we'll charge up. See where that goes. Goes into light, that's fine. We'll probably just charge up again, or do we want to play the elf? Let's play the elf. Let's play the elf. The elf too is not vulnerable to Piolet unless she hits it with a weaker removal first, like a hunt or something. And now that since she's used Talkaka, we're safe to bring out another creature next to the Goblin Bomb Squad because we're not afraid of Flame Emission anymore. Now she has enough light for a holy spear, but it's unlikely that she carries it. Most people don't. Ragnar the Blood Edge comes out again in front of the Goblin Bomb Squad. Command Hunting comes out to kill the elf. Okay, that's fine. So her resources are now down to 252, and we're at 8, 11, and 9, so we're doing pretty well. Discard into Nature. Right. We'll revive to get cards back into our hand, and just in case that discard was an ambush finder or a hidden spider. Not much point using Paralyzing Bullet, that wouldn't do enough damage, would it? Not reliably, no. So we'll probably just Casanova's Mask that again. It's not ideal, but it does keep Ragnar from generating all this stuff and, you know, weakening the Goblin Bomb Squad and healing itself up and all that nonsense. So the Goblin Bomb Squad gets its 8 damage off and manages to bring our opponent down to 22 health. Now let's see, still not enough resources for a Flame Emission, and can't use POLA on either of those two creatures. So let's see, a Charger went into gold, Charger goes into Nature. Okay. What are we going to see then? We haven't seen any nature removal, so a nature creature, yeah, Travari comes right back out onto the field again. Okay. And at this point, we do kind of need to deal with the Travari because we can't afford to let its fruit continue to activate. So we'll bring out the Mana Vampire +1, drain all the health off that Travari. And then we'll just charge up going into light. I would really like some of this to go into mana so that we're ready with the Kadir's Flying Sword and Materio combo, but we're going into light right now, which is a bit unfortunate. Ragnar drains more health off the Travari, not that it's particularly necessary. I'd quite like to bring him out, but we need to have the Goblin, the Fiery Zealot rather, removed. Oh, and it looks like that's about to happen. Yep, into the Ragnar. Fiery Zealot is removed. Vampire gets a little bit of damage, but no big deal. That does in fact free up the middle slot for a Materio combo. Discards into light could be an Interfecta Malus. Probably not though. Let's discard Mana Holy Missile into the grave and we'll bring out the Kadir's Flying Sword. There may still be a Cocoon Trap in there, but if so, it's not the end of the world. There was a Cocoon Trap. Okay, that's fine. It does at least mean that the resources, nature resources, are now completely gone. We'll bring out Materio. He summons the one of the bad swords, but it doesn't matter. The sword is about to die anyway, and it'll take out that fruit, so no healing for our opponent. Now this puts her into an awkward situation. With only 1, 1, and 6 resources, she can only afford to remove either Materio or the Mana Vampire. She can't afford to do both unless she has a Holy Spear in there, which is extremely unlikely. Discards into light, so could be building up towards a Holy Spear. Sure, charges into gold. Brings out Scathach. Okay, interesting. That goes in front of there. That takes them down to 2, 1, and 0 resources though, so we're actually not too worried about that. What we can do now that there are no good removal spell capabilities for her is we can bring out the Golden Garden Cat. Golden Garden Cat is pretty much guaranteed to survive. We'll charge up a couple more times. Materio will die to Scathach's ability, but he'll turn into one of the dead and will retain a certain attack value. So, and the cocoon is about to open itself up. So our opponent needs to basically wipe this entire field. Switches with Golden Garden Cat. That's a little unfortunate for that poor kitty, but okay. Revives out of the grave, doesn't really hurt us very much, and charges up. So I don't think... Yeah, okay. So she's being sportsmanlike and finishing the match. The dead, the Kadir's Flying Sword has just come out, and the Vampire. And we finish with a very respectable amount of HP. Resources is what I meant to say. A nice amount of resources there. So, down goes the Golden Garden Cat, and down goes the dead. Well played to my opponent there. That fight was a long one, but a good one, I thought. So, yeah, good job. And that was the Master Templar Materio deck. A very long fight, but useful, I think, for showcasing each individual card and the part it plays in the deck. So, if you would like to use this deck yourself, there's the share code up in the top right-hand corner, as always. Give it a go and let me know what you think. I quite enjoy Materio. I don't think he's going to prove to be super meta competitive, but he's a lot of fun and he's definitely platinum viable. So that's it for me, and that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to all the Arcanauts who have subscribed so far. Until next time, have fun, and good luck.